In this video, I'm gonna cover 5 of the questions that I think is a good question to raise up for this video. So first question is, I have a 1620 main and ultra at like 1610 and 1600. What should I do? For the main, focus on the advanced honing to all plus 10. Then you become 1630, right? And then you do hard echidna, which will get nerfed, like, for West exclusively, according to the roadmap, right? By clearing the hard echidna, go plus 20 beyond. By doing this, you will be able to reach 1640 from 1620. During this process, you do not buy mats from auction house unless it's Oreha or the solars. The solars are needed every time you reach the 6th pity. Whenever you tap on the advanced honing on the 6th one, there's a pity, right? Only for that, you wanna go full juice, but others, like, it depends on the, advanced honing calculator, but normally you don't put it, okay? For the rest of the gold that are leftovers, you hone the alt that is closest to the 1620 to reach 1620. Does that make sense, guys? But when doing this, you have to be careful. You actually want to raise a alt that you think it's fun to play, and you're gonna keep up. You think that you're gonna keep up with. If not, then you're gonna regret by a lot. Next question. I have everything at 1620 plus. Do I advance hone all of them? For the characters that you want to keep up with tier 4, then yes, you want to do advanced honing. Do the advanced honing as much as you can until tier 4. Like, what does the as much as you can mean? As long as you don't buy, like, anything other than Oreha and Solar. Okay, guys? Even if you don't get all plus 20, just pass it to tier 4 gear when the patch happens. Now, for the characters that you feel boring or you feel that it's not worth to keep it up, then you don't do the advanced honing. You just keep it at 1620. And what you do is that when the season drops, then it becomes 1640 from the tier 4 gear, right? With that 1640, you just farm the tier 4 stuff by doing tier 4 daily. And for the weeklies, the tier 4 weekly will not be viable if you're sitting at level 7 tier 3 like solo mode NPC event gems, or with the support engraving 5x3. You're not gonna be able to do tier 4 with that kind of like low speculation, of course. But still, you can earn the weekly guild from these alt by doing normal Famine, normal Echidna, and hard Ivory. These are pretty easy, even with the support engraving and level 7 tier 3 gems. I actually do this on my Bard, which is 1640. Next question. Do I must do all plus 20 on advanced honing? Because I heard tier 4 advanced honing is gonna be much expensive than now. Don't buy any mats unless it's Oreha and Solar. So these 3 are kind of similar, but it is what it is. Yeah. And do the advanced honing as much as you can, okay? As much as you can. And just transfer to tier 4 right away on tier 4 release, even if you're not done. Same thing that I explained here, right? Leaves you can get from Una, the bound ones. Shard is like already abundant because unless you're playing a character, you just jumped, right? The shard should be abundant because Chaos Engine gives a lot, right? Then the problem is the Solars and the Oreha. So these two you want to buy it, okay? Only. These two are the only ones. Later on, you can continue the advanced honing on tier 4 after finishing certain amount of the tier 4 original honing. In Korea, that's all plus 16. So in short, in Korea, with the new tier 4 gear, if you reach plus 16, then people start doing advanced honing if the advanced honing is not done. But this calculation, like this rule, came down with Korea economy. For you guys, like someone else have to calculate this for you guys, it might not be plus 16. It might be different. So anyways, like just keep in mind that there's this kind of like a breakpoint, like efficiency point. TLDR, you do the tier 4 advanced honing later on the efficient point. Okay? And you're still fine with that. Alright, next question. How hard is Aegir hard? It's very hard, not because of mech or patterns. They are pretty easy, easier than Echidna and Thaymine, in my opinion. But it's because of the very tight DPS check on eye level without any arc passive. But honestly, my opinion is that if you want to open the arc passive to taste like how stronger your class becomes, then try to prog it only on one character, which is gonna be your main, right? For other cases, just do Aegir normal, which requires like 20 level less, 1660. Aegir normal is a joke. I guarantee you that Aegir normal is easier than Behemoth, easier than Echidna normal, and easier than Thaymine normal. I guarantee you that. It's very easy. By doing the normal Aegir, you can still unlock the arc passive. Like, I need to explain the reward difference. Aegir hard gives mat for ancient gear, and it gives you ancient accessory. On the other hand, Aegir normal gives you mats for ancient gear, but it does not give you ancient accessory. Only rarely. And that is huge because you need ancient accessory to unlock every arc passive. So if you are under 1680, you can't have a full taste of the arc passive. Only half. But still, it's stronger than your current tier 3. Like later on, when you have a lot of ancient gear pieces. Engraving books, are they usable on tier 4? So in tier 4, you use 6 engravings, 1 class and 5 common. You will do more damage than your tier 3 as long as you clear the Aegir for a certain time, even with legendary engraving. Why is that? As I explained here, because of the ancient gear, right? You must need legendary at least though. If you have epic common book, it's bad. Never buy the class engraving now. Because class engraving comes from arc passive system, which doesn't require the book. So what happens is all the class engraving book that we learned becomes garbage. But there are some cases you might need it, right? For example, the arc passive can be opened from 1660 because of Aegir, but until 1660, are you gonna just sit with the 5x3 engraving? Maybe that's possible, and maybe not, depending on how hard the gatekeep is, right? If that's a thing, my opinion is that even if you have to buy the tier 3 accessories, not to have a rough, experience all the way to 1660, I would say you still don't buy the class engraving. Again, it becomes a garbage. You just buy the other common engraving legendary because those ones you still need it. And try to get 5x3+1. For Korea reference, the legendary books spiked on week 1, but steadily went down until Aegir came out, and then spiked again because of people able to activate the arc passive by clearing Aegir. So if you think that same thing will happen with your region, and you think that the books right now are cheap, the common ones, never the class engraving, then buy it now. Anyways, for this video, I'm just gonna cover these 5 FAQs. See you guys on the next video. Stay Giga Shed. Spam noted. Follow the Twitch, bro.